Hey everybody, it's Moonhorse again. Coming in just before this video with a little bit of information. We're talking about the University of Utah healthcare program. A friend of mine is not doing well and needs you guys, if you can, to look into this program, donate if you can, help out if you can. They're looking for, donations, people who can do live kidney transplants, the whole thing. This is a very good cause, and it's very, very important. So if you guys have anything you can do to help, or any way that you can help at all, please do. It would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to everybody. It's not just me, it's about everybody. Everybody's in this together, so we should all put together to actually do something. Like, if you're interested, or you have any way that you can possibly get in touch with this, or if you're in the area and you can do something to help out, you can contact them at uofulivingdonor.org. Or you can contact them at the phone number 801-587-8816. If you're interested in helping my friend specifically, when you get through to somebody or you're talking to somebody, ask for Corinne C. Powell. That's who needs the help right now. It's this person who asked me to kind of help out, not just for her, but for everybody. So if you want to help out, you want to contribute to a good cause, you want to do something good, really help these people out. They could use it. Alright, so now on with the show. Welcome back, one and all, to another rendition of whatever the fuck it is I do here. I'm going to read a Neckbeard story. I only read a little bit of it, so I don't know exactly what's going on, but I'm going to do my usual thing when it comes to Neckbeard stories and, read it and credit the author. Apparently there's multiple parts to this. I'm a little excited. I hope it's as wonderfully exciting as I think it is. This is Ye Old Rennisance Beard, Part 1, by Reddit user Luna003. If you're listening to this, how's it going? Hi guys, I signed up just to share my Neckbeard story. For a while I tried to decide on whether or not I should, but the whole thing was annoying enough that I thought it might do me some good to write it down and get it off my chest. This is the tale of Rennisance Beard, and how he believed he was a gentleman that was capable of stealing women away from their husbands and boyfriends. I work in retail, so a lot of times I get out of work fairly late. My neighborhood is a Walgreens store that stays open until midnight. It's the only place that's close that's still open when I get off, so naturally I'm in there from time to time getting whatever odds and ends I need. They also have a liquor section, of course. I have anxiety, so anytime I can relax while having casual conversations with strangers is a personal win. It also makes me a quick shopper. Get in, get what I need, get the fuck out. I added fuck. About a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago, they hired Rennisance Beard. I call him this because I've heard he regularly travels to the fairs and jousting exhibitions. He was also always pitching his weekend medieval LARP troupe to customers. I never heard what they were called, but I'm assuming it was the local branch of Amtgard that meets in one of the city parks. I don't know what Amtgard is. Rennisance Beard was bald at the top of his head with brown wavy hair that stuck out all around the side of his head like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. I can picture it. Occasionally he'd gel it back in a tiny greasy ponytail. Ew. He had black thick-rimmed glasses over a big round nose. Unlike other neckbeards, he actually had a beard, but it would poof up around his face. He looked about 5'11", but was obviously shorter than that because he would always wear stacked heel ankle boots. One pair I'm sure must have actually been women's because they had buckles and wrapped around the ankles with side zippers. Sounds like my boots. Shut up. I actually do have a pair of, they're called engineer boots. I don't know. I bought them from a motorcycle shop. It didn't fucking matter. Point is, combats are weird, and sometimes they have weird shit. I imagine he got a lot of them because of the piratey look they had. I don't know why he would ever want to wear shoes like that to a job where you're standing all day. Of course, he complained about his feet hurting. See, this is why police combats are better than the fancy boots that you get at Rennisance fairs, because insoles for the wind soles, bitch. That's a terrible saying. I'm sorry about that. He's heavy set too. His work issued polo shirt had to be at least a 3X and was skin tight on him. As time went on, it would also develop a huge light brown stain on the stomach. Ew. He would tie a bandana around his neck, Boy Scout style, and his fingerless gloves were just gray knit gloves with the fingers cut off. None of these things seemed to go with the polo shirt khaki work uniform. When I was leaving for home, he would put his... When he was leaving for home, he would put on his brown leather fedora and pretty basic brown leather jacket. I don't know how old he was, but I'm going to guess mid-30s. Unlike other neckbeards, he seemed to have very good customer service skills. His jolly Rennisance persona seemed to spill into his everyday life because he would communicate with exaggerated hand gestures and a slightly grandiose speaking style, which I quickly realized wasn't ironic. He would emphasize things by tilting his head forward and slightly to the side, like he was tipping an invisible fedora. I assume by this point in his life he might have toned it down some, and I can only imagine what he was like when he was younger. Honestly, don't remember exactly when he started working there. It was either spring or summer. The first few months were such basic, hello, how are you, type of interactions that I don't even remember them. All of our conversations happened in the time it took me to place items on the counter, get my receipt. Also keep in mind at a lot of times where there's other customers in line behind me, I can actually think of every conversation we had that lasted longer than a few seconds because there were so few. Sorry. For the longest time, I didn't even know what his name was. One of our longer conversations happened in October. Funko had released some Five Nights at Freddy plush thing, so I bought Foxy. Hey, I have one of those too. It was a present. We have a brief conversation about the game, since he said he never played it. I told him it's pretty stressful. There's a lot of playthroughs you can watch on YouTube. Things seemed normal for a while, but I began to suspect something was up on Halloween. Wore my Louise Belcher hat to work that day, so when he saw me, he commented, Bob's Burgers. At least we have that in common. I should have given him a voice. Bob's Burgers. I'm going to give him the overly dramatic, Bob's Burgers. At least we have that in common. I don't know why I gave him that voice. That just kind of seemed fitting. We talked about other shows the voice actors had worked on and about the Archer crossover. While I picked up my bag and was leaving, he waved his arm and called after me. Did you know you have a hook on your head? Little plastic hangy hook to put hats on. Oh, I know, I forgot to take it off and didn't have any scissors with me at work. Oh, okay. He slowly lowered his arm and seemed bizarrely deflated by the fact that I dismissed his helpful advice. Weird. I shrugged it off. Now I'm already seeing somebody and have been for about 5 years at this point. We'd met about 10 years ago at our first job. We're both working 2 jobs at the time of this story, so we didn't have as much time to see each other. I'm personally not interested in seeing 2 people at the same time, so... something... Oh, I thought you were talking about something. Yeah, so RB's comment about us having something in common made me suspicious. In the following months, he began to recommend food and restaurants to me, like Sprouts Farmers Market. I highly recommend their half-price sushi on Wednesdays. He's like metamorphosizing into like this arrogant, I don't know. I'm going to keep doing it though because it's fun. I began to get the impression that he was trying to portray himself as some kind of foodie connoisseur. But some of his recommendations were just normal chain restaurants like Outback Steakhouse. I never initiated any of these conversations about restaurants or food, and I can't even remember how he managed to steer the conversations to whatever he wanted to pitch. The following February, I went in the day after Valentine's Day. So, how was your Valentine's Day? He quickly asked. It's good. Had to work, though. I purposely answered vaguely for a number of reasons. A, I barely know this guy, and I don't feel comfortable talking about my personal life, and it's kind of none of his business. B, the truthful answer wasn't really appropriate for casual conversation. Yeah, my boyfriend came over and spent the night, but I still have to go to work, so I'm exhausted. Anyway, I tried to think of phrasing it, just sounded like TMI. Sometime in March was his birthday. He immediately told me that Saturday night he was going to be having a birthday party with his friends at a pub in town. It's going to be an all-evening thing, so people can come whenever they get off work, he enthusiastically told me. Sorry. He then paused and scrunched his face up in the most pathetic look of hopefulness I've ever seen. He didn't actually ask me to go. Oh, that sounds nice. Happy birthday, I answered, and I really didn't want to go. Not only did I work Saturday night, but had to get up early Sunday morning to go to my second job. Plus, it didn't really seem appropriate to go to the birthday party of a guy that's obviously wanting more. Now, up to this point, things have been fair enough. Somebody meets someone they'd like to get to know better, and I probably could have found some excuse to bring up the fact that I already have a boyfriend. Fortunately, as you will soon see, that wouldn't matter to him at all. From now on, he would reveal how manipulative and passive-aggressive he can be. And I was not the only girl that he had his sights on. Thanks for listening, everybody, and 8 minutes? 8 minutes. No, fuck this. Where's chapter 2? Nah. 8 minutes. Cut fucking episode 8 minutes. 8 fucking minutes? No! That's not the way we do it. This is part 2. Again, Luna003. Reddit user. How's it going? You're cool. Alright. So in this chapter, Rennisance Beard manages to get my mother and her boyfriend involved in trying to win them over to his cause. He tries to orchestrate the whole thing behind my back and succeeds in causing an argument between me and my mom. Honestly, I had to check the title again to make sure we're reading the right one. That is some... Wow! Okay. I began to soon realize that Rennisance Beard's customer service mode was really the only mode he had. His other mode was sulking. He seemed to want attention whenever something happened to him. One night, when the store was about to close, he was standing there in his fedora and leather jacket, hanging his head dejectedly. I overheard him tell other employees standing around that his zipper broke. One of the older ladies who worked there just, poor deared him. Another night I came up to the register to find him slowly swaying from side to side with his mouth hanging open, blinking his eyes half open. The whole act was so exaggerated and over the top I almost burst into laughter, but then I realized he was dead serious. Are you okay? I ate 2 big slices of Sbarro pizza, got sick, succotaceous. He weakly whispered between pauses with a limp wave of his hand. I don't remember how I answered because I was too weirded out by this act that he expected me to take seriously. Basically, whenever something bothered this guy, his customer service skills suffered. He began trying to compliment me whenever he could, and I forgot how he managed to bring up, "You must get asked for your number a lot." No, actually I don't. "Oh, well, they're lost. You seem like a catch." Creepy. He nodded his head and gestured towards me with his pudgy hand. When I got new glasses, he paused mid-transaction, shook his head, and said, "I just have to say I really like your new glasses. You have very excellent taste." All of these got uncomfortable thank yous. He was managing to toe the line of, "Hey, why didn't you notice I was hitting on you?" But also vague enough to say, "I was just trying to be friendly and compliment you." RB had never seen me in anything other than my work uniform for around a year. I'm a metalhead, but I frequently get mistaken for goth. I'm not the most radically dressed, but I get reactions from people, especially if they've only seen me in my uniform. Right on. Fucking metal's awesome. Went in one afternoon to buy wine. I was wearing ballet flats with an Elvira tank top and some black dress pants and had velvet embossed patterns on them. "Are you going to a concert?" was the first thing out of his mouth. I stared at him confusion for a second, and then I realized it was the clothes. I slapped the laptop. Oops. No, it's just my day off," I explained. "I like to dress up as characters on my day off, too," he responded excitedly. I'm pretty sure whatever expression I had just froze on my face. A t-shirt and pants is hardly a costume. It was really clear that this guy should be trying to find someone who is into traveling to Rennisance fairs as he was, but like other neckbeards, he obviously had a narrow pool of women he considered approaching no matter how incompatible they were with him. I remember one time, it might have even been the same day, ahead of me in line was a small nerdy girl with glasses and blonde hair. I don't know if she knew him, she seemed to, but she was totally shits and giggles for his act. Of course, he showed no interest in her. I wore a sleeveless black dress. "Oh, you look very classy. You must be going to a cocktail party. You must get hit on more than a piñata." I added the haha. No, my mother and her boyfriend, Fred, also shop at this Walgreens. I just realized I air quoted a name and you can't see me. Smart. I'm fucking smart. Once RB realized that we were related, he immediately went to work on mining them for information and trying to win over my mother. And for a while, it almost worked. He would ask what type of food I like, mention he wanted to take me to the local opera. He would help take care of her, who knows what else. At first, my mother thought it was so cute. And one time we went shopping together, he followed us back to the liquor department to sullenly announce that he had put in his application for manager position at one of the movie theaters. He never did get hired for it. He then personally picked up a bottle of wine I'd drink and carried it to the counter for me, telling my mother he was just being a gentleman. Cringe. "Oh, he has such a crush on you," my mother said, just eating it up. "And you're so rude to him." I was thoroughly disgusted. I'm grateful my mother didn't give him my phone number. I guess I should just go into a bit of history at this point. For a period, my boyfriend, Jay, again, I air quoted. I just realized I'm doing... Fucking stop! And my mother didn't get along. It caused us to split for a while. I'd never felt so betrayed, and I didn't understand why I had to suffer just because they couldn't get along. Jay eventually came back to me, and since then, they've both apologized to me. For some reason, though, my mother seemed to have this notion that I'd be open to seeing other people. Maybe she was secretly hoping I'd meet someone else. Obviously, RB tried to seize in on this weak link. My mother thought it was so cute that RB was wanting to take me on a date and got extremely upset with her when I was having none of this behind my back matchmaking. All of my feelings of betrayal came rushing back. Fortunately, she apologized to me and agreed she wouldn't encourage him. As time went on, she would eventually realize what a creepy guy he was. Specifically, one night when he was in his typical mopey mood, she asked him what was wrong with him, only to have him answer that he had to refuse an alcohol sale to one of the loopy drunks. The guy told RB that he was the devil, and that completely devastated him. He continued to work on her whenever she came in, and I guess he was finally going to ask me out. Oh, but she's moody and hard to deal with, my mother said, trying to make me sound less appealing. Gee, thanks, Mom. She said RB looked shocked when he heard her say this. "I'll be willing to take on the challenge." Yeah, she has a boyfriend. My mother just said he just kind of face-palmed when he heard this. It's not like it took him years to find this out. This only happened a month or so after he vaguely invited me to his birthday party. At this point in the story, I relaxed a bit. No such luck. In fact, he began to get even weirder. You know what? I think there's a part 3 to this, and we're just going to fucking read it, because I don't even give a shit. I don't fucking care. Where is it? There it is, right there. I'm going to do it. I'm reading it. Again, this is, Luna003. I'm reading more of your fucking story.
How's it going?
Anyway, this is part 3. My mother told me recently about the conversation she, Rennisance, and Fred had where she told RB that I had a boyfriend. Well, his name's Jay and he's big and strong. I'm pretty big too, he argued. I'd be the best son-in-law. Wow, from total strangers to fucking married. Not even single. I don't know, they've been together a while. Sorry, I used the wrong voice there. I don't know, they've been together a while, Fred told him. So basically, this grown-ass man was literally arguing and bargaining with my mother about why he should be with someone he doesn't even know who already has a boyfriend. I don't know, he sounds fucking classy. Ew. From what my mother and Fred have told me, RB didn't really believe I had a boyfriend. So, Luna has a boyfriend? RB asked and Fred one night when he came in alone. Hey, yeah. Have you ever met him? A few times. Do you think she says she'd say yes if I asked her out? No. But do you think I have a shot? No. I'll try asking her out. No! I didn't know about the whole conversation at the time, but RB's behavior did not change at all after my mother told me that she dropped the B word on Rennisance Beard.
She called him a bitch.
I would have. He tried to flatter me with compliments. He found a new way to try and schmooze me. There were coupons for the brand of wine I drank. He would always say he had some clipped out and ready at the register just in case I came in. Thank God I'm a cautious person, because who knows what else he'd been using against me if he knew more about me. I remember one time that he had a coupon between his fingers, kind of waving it while he gave me this shit-eating grin and a Then he quickly waved it in front of the scanner, making some kind of douche sound effect or something. I just stared at him, but he was unfazed. By this point, I stopped trying to have conversations altogether. Of course, he didn't seem to notice. He was able to carry on entire one-sidedly all by himself. I also began to start avoiding the store when I could. I'd buy extra wine at the grocery store so I wouldn't have to stop after work, or I'd make it to the gas station before it closed. This actually wasn't too much of an inconvenience because, like I mentioned, I'm only there a couple times a week, but it was still kind of a drag. I'd still go in if I had to because it was my neighborhood and I can go where the hell I want. I was considering talking to the manager about him, but I was waiting for some really good evidence. Then came the night where he finally asked me out. I had started tuning him out when he was talking to me. So I don't even know what he was saying while he was ringing up my items. All I heard was wah, 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 like on the Peanuts, so it's more like wah, 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 wah. Muted trombones. It's the least I can do, he gestured with an open palm to the wine coupon he was scanning. I mean, since I never take you out, would you like to go to an eating establishment with? Please tell me he didn't say eating establishment. Oh my God. Woo! Okay, eating establishments. I am Friendbeard. Let us go to eating establishment. Fucking robot. Okay. I snapped back to reality. Again, whatever expression I had on my face must have frozen, and I felt my brow furrow as I genuinely felt offended and shocked. Did he forget I have a boyfriend? No. Sorry, I'm already seeing someone. I almost sputtered. RB then started to ramble very quickly. Oh, don't worry. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to say, I'm better than him, but you deserve to be happy. Everyone deserves to be happy. At first, his babbling sounded reassuring to me, but later that night I had a wait a minute moment and realized that there was sort of a backhanded thing to say. I never had any thought to the possibility of someone would tell me that they were better than my boyfriend. So why did RB feel the need to say this? My guess is that he actually said this to girls in the past and is trying to assure me he won't do this time, or he's backhandedly saying that he's better than someone he doesn't even know about. His second comment about how everyone deserves to be happy made me wonder if he didn't have some unrealistic thoughts on relationships. He probably does. I basically interpreted it as meaning I deserve to be happy. A relationship would make me happy. That sounds about right. Either way, it was just like before. His behavior with me did not change at all. Wine coupons? He now began to inundate me with them. He'd send pages home with me. He'd send them home with my mom to give to me whenever she saw me. I turned them over to see if there are any heartbroken notes on the back. He'd even send them home with Fred. He must have thrown them away because he never gave them to me. In fact, that's what I had to do because I ended up having way more coupons than I'd ever be able to use by the expiration date. Bitch, please, like $2 off coupons and make me choose a total stranger over Jay. Can you imagine that? I'm sorry, honey, I've met someone else. He just gave me so many coupons and complimented me so much. Ha ha! I also found out that I wasn't the only woman RB was pursuing. My mother ran into RB talking to an older blonde woman who must have been in her 40s one day. She didn't mention if it was at Walgreens or grocery store. Mother's good at being friendly and snooping. I'm assuming that after the woman left, she struck up a conversation with RB. He led her to believe that they were having an affair, and RB admitted that he was trying to break up her marriage so he could get it. Jesus, fuck, what an asshole! He told my mother he was interested in dating an older woman because he wanted a sugar mama to sponsor his LARPing and fair trips. Looking back, I also wonder if part of the reason he came after me was because he assumed I had money because I was always working 2 jobs at the time. Yeah, right. I know the feeling. Anyways, Fred works as a massage therapist. I have no idea why RB thought this was a good idea to say this to the mother of one of the women he's trying to chase. It obviously wasn't a joke, as we can see from the way he's acted up until this point. My mom agreed at this point the guy must be some kind of fatal attraction stalker. At this point, I was thinking I might have good enough evidence to talk to his manager, since he asked me out while on the clock, but soon I found out I wouldn't need to do that. Well, there isn't a next part yet, so we're going to stop here, but I do kind of really want to continue this, because this shit is going somewhere. Wow. Yeah, Luna, if you're out there and you hear this, holy shit, dude. Whoa! Also, I hope you don't think it's weird that I read your story online. Also, I hope the rest of you really enjoyed it. Also, I'd like to comment that this time I'm not drunk, but I might as well be. Also, I said also a lot. Seriously, though, fucking coupons? 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 Seriously? What the fuck? It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Alright, thank you for watching, everybody, and hopefully there'll be a new part out soon, and when it is, I'll try to read it, because this was... this was interesting. Like, comment, subscribe, and, you know, tell Luna003 that, you know, she's pretty awesome. Thanks for writing cool stories.
We like you. You're a friend.
Okay, bye. Wait, where's the button? How do I stop this thing? Oh, right here. Okay, bye.